Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Fidelis Leadership Institute F.A.T Talks. We are counting down and winding down the year. Oh, what a year it has been. And from the Fidelis Leadership Institute, we come to you every Thursday, live on Smart 24, and on our X Space, which is the Fidelis Leadership page, to bring you conversations that matter about things that are ethical leadership and all things leadership, giving you perspectives from thought leaders, giving you information to help you just navigate life with all the bombardment we have as personal leaders in every sphere that we've been given to lead, from the smallest of fora, which is our families, to the biggest boardrooms that you can imagine. We are committed as FLI to create a critical mass of leaders, and we are very committed to selling ethics at the core of our values, and that is why we come to you to remind you of the conversations that matter on a weekly basis. My name is Nanza, to host and moderate today's talks, and I'm very excited for this edition. With me in studio, I have people. Unlike the usual, I have people that are going to discuss a lot of cross-cutting issues. We will call this the family edition, the F.A.T family edition, and trust me when I say F.A.T and family in the same breath, because the people in the studio today are the poster people for fatness, which is faithful, available, and teachable. And they're also the poster people for leadership at every sphere. I am a big advocate for leadership without title, and these people are coming to us in designated capacities, but also in their own rights as leaders, as we will get to meet them on the show. I would like to make the introductions, but it would be nice for them to introduce themselves. And just to put it out there, they are here because they merit to be here. One of them is an alumni of the Fidelis Leadership Institute. He just graduated in the last cohort, but he's much, much more than just a graduate of the last cohort. I am privileged, excited, and thrilled to introduce Apollo on my immediate left and Phiona, the Mbowas. They will tell us more about themselves. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nanza. Thank you for inviting us. I'm already feeling fat in a literal sense, and also in the faithful and available and teachable sense. We are glad to be here. I'm Apollo Mbowa. It is good manners to always introduce your lady, but I will allow her to put on all the other bits. But this is my wife, Atkunda, Phiona Mbowa. I call her Atkunda. She prefers Mbowa. And we've been married the last 13 years, but we've been partners for longer than that. We partners in other things, business and everything else. We do life together. We've been doing life together. We hope we will continue doing it together. She's a mother. She's also the CEO of Home Affairs and everything relating to the pocket. Yeah, I'm the COO, she's the CEO and CFO.
Interesting.
Yeah, but let her finish the introduction.
Hello, Phiona.
Hello, Nanza. Thank you very much for having us. I'm Phiona Mbowa. You've introduced most of my... Yes, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a marriage enthusiast. I really love marriages and seeing them work. And what else? Yeah, that is briefly me. I'm an accountant, but I don't like it. I'm more into children and seeing them develop to be what God has destined them to be, and also to see marriages work the way God intended them to be, not the way things are right now.
Great. That is a very deep, already going deep on us, introduction of yourself, Phiona, who is an accountant, that relates more as a mother, a marriage enthusiast. Phiona also has a show on another television. We will look up her socials where she hosts a program called Ring Diaries. That should tell us a lot about her and where her heart is and where she's serving and leading. So welcome to the show, the Mbowas.
And I'm her husband.
And Apollo wants every listener and viewer to know that she is proudly the husband of Phiona.
Yeah. I think that's my biggest job because I realize she introduced herself as so many other things.
And she forgot that.
No, even the wife she did. But then when I'm going through my introductions, I think I can only say I am the husband too, a marriage enthusiast, I'm husband too, a child something, I'm a husband too, an accountant.
Oh, nice.
I am also there, I exist, yes.
Okay, that brings us to the fun part. There's this joke, I don't know if there are any couples that you followed or that you follow or that you know, but I want to assume you know George Clooney and the wife, Amal. Apollo, do you know George Clooney?
I know George Clooney. I know
He
George
was
Clooney.
named most handsome man, so
Yeah,
I'm sure
I know
Phiona
George.
knows George Clooney.
Now,
I don't know what else.
I don't want to speak for her, but
Okay.
Nanza, one of the things I need to put in perspective is we are local people.
Okay.
We are bred and raised in Kampala. Kampala is our village, and Wakiso is our residence. So when it comes to things international, the English you are putting in, remember who you are talking to.
Okay.
Exposure
okay,
is...
I bring up George Clooney and Amal not because of showbiz, by the way. It's because Amal Clooney, in her first life, or before marriage, premarital life, is a very well-accomplished international human rights activist and lawyer who has gone to The Hague, who has gone to ICC fighting for rights. She has some Syrian, Ukrainian roots, and she's really doing groundwork. And George, in his George Clooney-ness that needs no introduction, marries her later on, and they're doing very well as a couple. But when they go to events, and whether they're giving out awards or they're representing a cause because they're very big on charity and humanitarian work, sometimes they introduce Amal as George Clooney's wife. So there's this comedian who had to bring a bit of humor to it and read the whole credential of Amal. Like when you compare the two, they've all accomplished stuff in their own right. So they read Amal's resume and it has fought for rights in Syria, went to negotiate with these rebels, saved lives, did it, like it is just she's a well-accomplished woman. And then she concludes, and she is George Clooney, and George Clooney is her husband. So it's a good way to start the talk because we are talking leadership, we are talking about life, we are talking about work life, and Apollo talked about CEO and
CFO,
CEO. It's
big word.
of home affairs.
Very big words of home affairs.
Home and financial affairs.
And financial affairs. Exactly where I want us to start this talk. Apollo is professionally a financial literacy expert. Before the cameras rolled, he was telling me when he gets home, he does not touch finances. What is this role reversal going on in the Mbowa household?
I will allow her to first to attempt at that, then I will tell you the truth behind it. But please.
No, I think it's just, at home I don't know, he's not a financial literacy expert. I think at the beginning of our marriage we realized that I handle money better, I think. And when we learned that, we realized for him, let him earn and then we put together and me I spend. But of course the planning we do it together, but he doesn't move with, he rarely has money actually. We just put the money together and we spend of that, whatever list we have that we're supposed to spend for the month. But also, part of me thinks he gave me that because he knows I don't spend on myself. So if I have the money, he knows it's safer than if he's done with it. But I think basically it's just that I am good at following the plan somehow, better than him. Usually you'd give him money and he comes back with a car every week. So we realized...
A car every week, oh.
Yes. He will deposit
in
on a
quotes.
car.
Yeah, he'll deposit on a car. Like,
Yes, like he'll deposit on a car this week, and before he even pays it up, he deposits
moved on to another.
Yeah, so realize, you know what?
Apollo, a car's your thing? What car do you drive? No, but there, right there, is where the conversation is happening. What's your take on those roles? Because looks like in the Mbowa household, we give roles according to who is best suited, not according to traditional.
Man must be handling money.
Yeah, so we'd like to hear more about roles, if any. Which roles have you, especially the traditional ones, that have you interchanged between the two of you as you run this unit called a family?
I think majorly for us, it's more, as you said, it's more of a partnership. Honestly, we don't have the traditional roles. And I remember just after we were married, we'd get out, go back home. We had no children yet. He washes the dishes. I'm cooking.
You watch as I wash the
Yeah,
dishes.
he washes
She
the dishes.
watches while you
She
wash.
washes while I wash the
I
dishes.
would be cooking or doing something. So it would bring a bit of a friction with the people who would be seeing us. And they would not understand, why did you marry if you still have to do dishes? But for us, we learned that we need to leverage on the strength that we have. It doesn't make sense for me to sit down and wash dishes when, honestly, one, I don't like it, I don't enjoy it, and if there's something I can actually do and I'm very good at it. So for us, we looked at it as a partnership. What can you do well? What can't I do?
Is that something you discussed or you discovered as you run life? Like, because I think it's that you play different roles, whether gender or not, when you're a girlfriend and when you go married. Some people say the minute you cross marriage, a lot of things change. So are those roles you learned in the pre-marriage partnership, as Apollo referred to it, or some you have adopted along the marriage journey?
I think even before marriage, I would keep our money.
When we were walking into the studio, he was carrying your handbag.
I would actually have his money, his mother's ATM.
Wow, mother's ATM. Listen
His
to
father's
this part.
ATM.
Father's ATM as a girlfriend.
Yes. But also I think we were not dating for girlfriend. We were sure we were dating
You were
for
already
marriage.
sure you were dating
We
for
were dating
marriage.
for marriage. There was no playing around. It had to work. So
Apollo, you're quiet on this issue.
Yeah, as it has been demonstrated, while she was saying something a bit there, that you concentrate on each other's strength, and she mentioned there was the dishwasher.
And she was the
So
dishwasher.
now she's mentioning about me holding the handbag. So I have great strength in dishwashing, handbag custodian, but to bring this to reality is, you can never assume to be good at everything.
Okay.
And for me, I am very self-aware. You really hinted a bit that in my professional world, I'm talking about finances. Yeah, I'm talking about finances because I have attained the freedom to talk about them. They are not disturbing me.
Ooh.
Someone is handling. And the minute you get self-aware and you know, me, I will not, like we are now having this conversation, but if money comes in, it will tell me, come, let's go and do something. So I know that I am very self-aware of that, and I need to free myself of that and then concentrate on other things. And to many people, it looks like you are giving up your power, but just giving them a tip, it is one of the things that can be empowering. When you know you don't have to worry about the price of sugar.
Ooh,
like
nice.
I don't know, if I'm passing through the market, I don't have to buy things because one, I don't have the money, but two, even if I attempted to buy, I would arrive home and I have bought the raw ones, the raw sugar, the sugar and salt, things like that. So
thank you,
someone gets to do that and then frees my brain to do other things. But it will also be surprising that when it comes to the children,
exactly,
I am the stronger party.
That was my next question for the benefit of the viewers. What roles have you maintained as the leader of the home? Because we do not want to leave our audience confused that you can be a laid-back person, especially in this era where we have lazy boys who just want the soft life. We don't want to sell Apollo as the lazy laid-back brother.
It's actually far from that.
So can you please confirm which
So,
are the roles you've been
like, when it comes to the children, I don't think she has woken up to feed a child
Wow.
for all her three.
I think from the pregnancy.
From the pregnancy, like that, I am stronger. Not that I may not be stronger, but I decided that I will do. I don't think she has also lifted a hand to wash clothes.
I've not washed clothes in the last 13 years.
Or iron.
Okay, stop.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
But she.
this is Fidelis Leadership Institute with the Fast Talk. This is the
Yeah.
family edition. Already 10 minutes into
I-
the show.
Are you stopping? I had a whole list.
I'm coming to it, but I just want to make sure that the viewers and the audience know what's happening in studio, because this conversation is becoming very interesting. We have the Mbowas
Yeah.
discussing leadership from every angle. We have a financial literacy expert in Mr. Mbowa who doesn't handle finances at home. We have a mother who is very passionate about children in Phiona Mbowa who doesn't change diapers, doesn't wash clothes, doesn't wake up. Like, this is so fun. Please check our Twitter's face. Come to
So I was still
24.
going on with that list.
Yes, and listen to the Mbowas. Mess with us on this family edition.
To flip it a bit, I don't know the price of sugar. I also don't know which Irish is good, which is not good.
Which is good for chips, which is good for kadok.
Those things, even if you drag me and put me in the market, for me I will stand in one place and I say, whatever I don't see is not in the market. So she's on that point, she will go into the market and then we like ask, bargain here and then go and then bargain there and then bargain there. I can't do that. And then she says, we are not eating, things like that. So at that point, if you had given me the bit to manage the home from that perspective, I don't think I would have done it. So, and I enjoy the dynamism. Some roles are also now changing. I predict a sharp shift in the next 5 years. I'll be now managing the finances, things like that. But you have to come with proof that you are now the better party.
How are you gathering that proof?
No, we actually tried it out. First handle finances for 6 months. Then we had to have an actual
evidence.
You think okay, if it is an issue, let's handle for 6 months. After 6 months, let's evaluate and see what is there, what is on the ground. And then after, he properly allowed and handed back with no.
But I'm in school.
You're in school.
I'm in school.
You are a graduate of
I am,
and you do financial literacy.
Yes, and I am the headmaster of the School of Money. So every time I stand on the stage and I'm delivering a message, I am schooling myself.
And then you school
like while I deliver it to them, I am actually the first attendant. And I have taken notes. I am taking notes. I am still in school. I give myself the next 5 years before I can come
take over your boss's job.
If she's not better, if I have schooled myself better, I'll definitely take it over. But if she has also taken off time to stay in school, she has the job for yeah.
This is a very interesting dynamic. We have the family edition of the F.A.T Talks this week with the Mbowas in the house. They're already shaking up things and changing paradigms, but also sharing very useful insights on open-mindedness and dynamics regarding family leadership, not just finances, even though Apollo is a certified financial expert and Phiona is an accountant. We are going to touch on many things outside finances, so stay in touch, call a friend, join our experts, tune into Smart 24, and talk to us on our socials that are going to be shared shortly. So to wind up the segment in a fun way, you talked about children, who changes diapers and what. I overheard a fly on the wall. Who names the children, for example? That's a very small role or a big role, depending on how much social, cultural attachment there is, because we are heading into a direction of external influences on leadership roles in the family. So who names the children? And if you don't mind, please share the beautiful names and if there is any reason of our children, the Mbowas, that I have Hard whispered.
She should answer this, but before she answers, she may leave out some things.
Okay.
In this family, I'm also the one in touch with if there is hardware and software, I am the software of the family.
So you're updated more regularly.
So if it is, when it comes to the names of the children, she has names. But then I am the more thought through process, and I come with something with.
We will hear. We will hear
and
her background. But
so,
what are the children's names and what are their ages, if you don't mind sharing?
So we have 3 children, 2 boys and 1 girl. The first one is...
So far.
No.
See?
Okay.
Okay, what are the names?
So
what
far
are the names
3.
and what is the rationale behind the
first
naming?
born is King Nehemiah, he's 9.
Great.
Second born is Gold Joachim. And
King, Gold,
the
Joachim.
girl is Crown.
We have King, we have a King, we have Gold and a Crown. Any
Yes.
particular reason? Or
Why the
rationale?
naming? It was...
I mean the crown, the king, and the jewel. The
When
gold,
the
the
first born
king,
was
and the
king.
crown. Yes.
Second born is Gold. Now everyone kept wondering, let's wait to see what the third child will be named. And we said there, I'm like, okay, actually he really thinks more, he's the thinker in the home. And
Creative.
Creative, yes, the literature, all that. He writes very nice poems by the
Ooh,
So-
poems.
He sits down and I tell him, people are asking, what is going to be the
The
name
next.
of... I think that's why we stopped having children. The names are running out. So,
Did you stop because the names are running out?
Yes,
Or have
because
you
if you
stopped
have
because there was
king-
that? Yes, last one, then he said so far.
no, we stopped because now when you have king, you can't have something less. Otherwise, the children will feel that
Okay.
they're competing or someone is above the other. But king and gold are on the same level.
Okay.
Actually, they keep telling themselves that king has a golden crown. That's what they
Interesting.
That's
So
what they call
it levels the
themselves.
ground.
So all of them are
That's
leveled.
nice. Apollo, quickly, since you're the thinker, in the next 2 minutes before you take a break, what is your reasoning as you name? What is in a name? Why do you give them those very unique and interesting names? In a minute or so.
No, it's the feel. This morning I was telling someone, I never accept when someone invites me to talk, I need to get a message. Not that I'm a prophet or anything, but I need to feel to get into your space. So for each of these children, I get into a space where I need to, what do I think of this child? What would I am sort of,
So
I have
there's an
my,
intentionality
yes.
to the name.
So when I talk about king, I know that he's going to be a king of Buganda or anything, but he has to be a king in whatever he chooses to do.
Okay.
Gold is precious and he should be valued like for whatever he places his hand on and he has chosen, his decision is his. And crown definitely is the highlight of everything. Like
Hey.
she just takes over, she steps into an audience and takes over. She's like when you are when someone is putting on a crown, you may not see their face. You will see the crown.
It's a
So
representation of something.
yes.
So you're speaking into their lives.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this fasting. It's been fun, and we have had Mama King and Tata Gold and Crownly parents, and we are not just throwing out fun statements. Here we have parents who are leading by not conforming. They've shared vulnerably and openly, especially Phiona, thank you for saying that you're not feeling orchestralized for being an unconventional lady. Apollo has proudly says he changes diapers and washes dishes. Phiona has told us she doesn't know when she last did laundry in the house, but they are still a functional family. They're doing things together. We are going to hear a lot more about what they're doing as a pair and as a family in the coming segment. And thank you for joining us. I think this is the best show to kind of wind down all the year's stress. It has brought a bit of life and light onto the talk, onto the F.A.T talks. We will continue shortly, but this is to remind you that Fidelis Leadership Institute is still here to serve you and train you and teach you and handhold you through all spheres of life. We teach a plethora of things, but not from an academic angle, from a practical angle. We sell ethics, which is very difficult to do in this era, because we want to create a critical mass of leaders, not just impacting our African community, but globally. So stay tuned, check our socials. We have a cohort starting in February next year. Apply, call in for more information, and keep in touch with us. So thank you very much, and we will be right back with another interesting segment with the Mbowas on the F.A.T Family Edition. Welcome back, viewers and listeners, to the F.A.T Talks by the Fidelis Leadership Institute. My name is Nanza, hosting the Family Edition as we wind down the year. And for those who are just joining us, we have the Mbowas, a F.A.T family that has shared in the first segment very interesting insights about how they are leading in their capacities as husband and wife, as partners. They are also leading as business owners. And that is the part I want us to start with in this segment. There's such a thing as, you said we don't talk too much English because you are Wakiso people. But I'm sure you have smartphones, and these things find a way to creep in. Whether they are from California to Wakiso, they find their way to your space. Something called lovepreneurship. From what you have just discussed, 13 years of marriage and many more of partnership before the ring, you're doing things together. What are you doing together as partners, business-wise? I don't want to spoil it for them. And how has it been in this lovepreneurship? Some think it's a bad mix, you put business and marriage. Others say it's the best and only way because everybody's interests are covered. So we'll start with you, Phiona. What has been your lovepreneurship journey? And did you choose it? Did it happen to you?
Thank you very much, Nanza. So we own a school. We own a school back in our village in Bulenga. And this school has been 6 years now. Yes. It started out by two lazy parents. After King turned 3, we were like, we need to find a place for him. We looked around and couldn't find a nice school. I think that the school that we found was in Namugongo. It's a school in Namugongo that we found, and clearly from Bulenga to Namugongo every day. It was not going to work out. So what we did, and I remember that time they were paying $1,500, the school we wanted. I don't even think we could afford it. But we sat down and figured, if you can pay $1,500 for a child one term, can't I get 6 teachers to teach my child? But initially I've always, and then shockingly differently, we all wanted to have a kindergarten. We write a lot. So in his journal, like long time, he had a kindergarten, and also mine had a kindergarten. So we thought this is a good time to start. So we got into, we had some rentals we had built. We're like, you know what, let's turn them into a school for King. It's actually called Little Kings. For King, now it is just to teach him. So we interviewed and
That's what
6.
they call a planned child. King was born and the school was made out of his needs.
No, but also I told him, for us to have a child, I need to be sure. I don't want to have a child who's going to lack. So for every child that comes, before the child comes, we need to have an investment for them. So for King, it was a school. We're like, okay, fine. So we had teachers come around, and what started out like just for King people, fellow parents who needed a good school.
May I confirm that on the onset, you are willing to say go a year or 6 months with just King in the school and 6 teachers coming to teach him?
Yes.
While you have all the plans for a school, but you are not
We're not
intimidated.
looking, yes, at
You
all
are,
the other
so
things.
the formation, the goal was built around King's needs first.
How do we make sure that a child gets the same education as any child in the Kampala schools, but without us having to wake up very early to go to take the child? So I got teachers, I got a teacher from an international school to train them, and they were top-notch teaching my one child who refused to go to school that term. But
Hold on. Having gotten all this red and yellow gold carpet laid out for King to study alone with 6 teachers coming to him, King did not study.
he would run back home. And I think teachers used to fear, this is a director's son, what do we do?
So how long did it take before you got other children?
That very term, we studied in that third term, so that we studied the environment. And because of the way we're doing our things, one teacher brought their child, so there were 2. Another parent was just passing by, like, okay, what are you going to do? You have swings. We're like, we are going to start a school. So that time there were 2.5. King was half.
Was a half. And how many do we have right now?
Right now we have 180.
Wow.
But also that's because we cap. I don't want many children.
Okay,
So
interesting.
we cap it.
Apple,
Yep.
lovepreneurship, your experience.
That's a new term today. I am just going to be blasting it around like lovepreneurship.
Yes.
Yes, but as she said, the school was an opportunity. It's something I had the plans in one of my diaries that my father had given me. But when King was to go to school, and we saw he could afford some money, and that same money could actually pay all these teachers, it just became as an opportunity, and we grabbed it. The dream was let's run the kindergarten. But in my head, my dream was I need to do a whole primary. Right now we are on P5, P6. We have gone to P6. We are at 180. But while we are making this, remember we are making something for our children. For me, I am looking at that opportunity when whatever I want can actually be sustained, can sustain itself. So if I want a top-notch school for my child that I have made, how can I drive it to a point where it can actually drive itself? We haven't turned a profit yet, but when it comes to the capital accumulation, what started as rentals, we now have a storage building coming up. We haven't...
So there's a bit of financial intentionality also.
Yes,
You know
yes.
what it means to stay with a financial literacy?
Who doesn't want to do finances at home?
But
Yep.
for the business.
No, it's a... Now for me, the personal finance, it's a self-awareness question. But now this is a business. And it now has turned out to be, before it wasn't her full-time, but now it has turned out to be
So we have now personal
the
finance,
full-time.
and now we have corporate finance,
Yes.
and who is good at personal finance.
Yes.
But I don't want this to dwindle so much into a financial literacy thing, which I know Apollo is you have a proclivity because it's what you breathe and breathe on Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. almost. I would like us to bring this conversation down to dynamics of just people working together as husband and wife in the business sense. What are your 1, 2, 3 tips? Two or not two, because those who are for it have their reasons, and those who say don't mix have their reasons. Let's hear from you. Let's hear from the horse's mouth.
So, about working together, for us it's practically that working together. It is not whose business, it is working together. Bottom line is, if we work together, what comes in? Now, for the school, she's the principal head. We had a car business, I am into cars, so I take lead on that. Because each of us has their strength, and each of us has targets. So when you take up something, you're doing targets. You have targets. What do you bring? And we have some of those meetings which end up when you are not talking to each other, of trying to reprimand each other, and you're telling her, by the way, no, I am not convinced. And then it turns into a different story. You know, when your boardroom is also the bedroom, it turns into a different story, and you have to humble up and say, okay, we will continue from here tomorrow. But the bottom line is you work together. Because, and I keep asking people that if you have decided to share all the other things, this is just business, this is just money. Share. When you fail together. Now the beauty about working together is when you fail, the other one cannot even say it was your thing. You fail together.
You join the ideas.
Yes.
But the question would be, had you not married Phiona, who has financial discipline and financial literacy and willingness
Allegedly.
to learn, allegedly,
But for the business, it's completely different.
my God, interesting.
Completely different.
If a person out there is wondering that I would love to have this model, the Mbowa model, allow me to call it the Mbowa model of lovepreneurship, but my person doesn't want to know.
Go back to the beginning. Every couple is unique. Like even this, what you're calling the Mbowa model, is not the best model. There are some super couples we have met and we said, what? Like you do not, like,
I love you, but
you can't even untie their shoes. They are, like they're so efficient in whatever they do. They're so entangled. They're speaking the same thing. They're doing presentation. I do things which she doesn't do. She does things which I don't do. She does TV. She does TV, I don't do TV. I do speaking, she doesn't do speaking. But then we bring this together. But there are couples, when they go to speak, they are speaking together. When they go to do TV, they do together. So it's a not one size fits all. It's unique, and unique. But she's an expert.
No,
And
I
the
just meant
TV
to ask,
character
I
here.
meant to, but she doesn't speak, but she's a TV
But the TV
host.
character here, she's
When I'm very quiet, but I'm.
like
No,
she's
said
at
she
home
speaks because
when on
she's
TV.
passionate about something, then the passion overtakes your other fears, right? Like we all are. Thank you so much for tuning in to Fidelis Leadership F.A.T Talks. This is the family edition. I would like to call it the fun family edition. We have a F.A.T family in the name of the Mbowas, who are talking all things marriage, leadership, finances, naming children, role reversal. We are going to just have a good time with them as we expound on this whole thing of leadership in all spheres, be it in the small docket where it starts at home or in the biggest boardrooms, maybe in a Fortune 500 company. Please join us every Thursday on our Express, which is Fidelis Leadership, and on Smart 24 Live for such talks and more. This is the fun version because we are ending the year and we are hoping that you have taken in all the serious information, and then we need to relax as we prepare for the coming year. At Fidelis Leadership Institute, we have a training, a fellowship that happens for 6 months, and you come to us. We have customized training on topical issues and a package that includes what you would need to strive as a leader, wherever you're placed. Our next cohort starts in February. Check out our web pages and our socials to get more information. And we can also get bespoke courses for you, bespoke trainings for your team, as we try to create a critical mass of ethical leaders anywhere, in any sphere and any industry. We believe in selling ethics. We are unapologetic about that. And we want to create like-minded thought leaders in every possible industry. So in this last segment, to make things a little bit fun, we're talking about lovepreneurship, where couples are working, building businesses together. Apollo has just confirmed that it's never a one-size-fits-all. You have to know your person. Phiona said too that they do have personal finances where she's very good in managing the home finances, but now as their portfolio is growing into corporate finances, as they're running a business, now Apollo has strapped up, and he has promised us to overtake Phiona in the financial space because he has had the humility to learn. Apollo is proving to us yet again that it doesn't matter how much you know, there's room to be faithful, first of all, to be available, but most importantly, teachable, which is what we espouse as FLI. We are faithful, available, and teachable. I can't thank this couple enough for coming to us. Thank you very much. But in this segment, the last one, because we are talking leadership, I wish King, Crown, and Gold were old enough to be on this show to tell us. We have seen families which have very well organized dreams and passions and planned legacies, and then the children don't want to know. Is King going to become a financial expert like Apollo? Is he going to be an educationist like Phiona? Do you have plans for them? Do you look at their persona? Do you want them to take over their business? Because we think long term. I am a big enthusiastic person when it comes to sustainability. What do you think about leadership in families where, one, the parents are very passionate about something? Some are doctors, some are engineers, and they think it should be their family brand. And, or inadvertently, because that's how you brought up your children, and that's all you've modeled, when a child comes and says, I want to be a spoken word artist, thankfully Apollo is a poet. Some parents have never heard of spoken word. What do you say? What, is King and Crown going to be a business person?
I think when we have studied these children, they are so different. It shocks you. Like they're so different.
As in their individual personalities.
Their individual personalities, they are so different. King is quiet, but he knows almost, I think, everything. And what we try to do, and what I encourage people to do, one, don't force the business on the children. They need to earn it.
Or profession.
Yes, they need to earn it. For business sense, they need to.
You don't hand it down to them.
It's not
they
theirs.
They need to show that this is not, and they know it. Even when King knows the school is called Little Kings, he knows
it's not his.
It's not his. And I remember yesterday I was telling something. Then someone was saying, Crown, aren't you going to your home? I was like, no, that is not my home. That is Daddy and Mommy's home. So they know that this is what daddy and mommy is. But we need to earn it for it to become ours. But what we try to do is, one, he moves with the children sometimes for his shows. Of when he's going to talk, and when they come back, they have their things written. King will tell you, mommy, here we're spending a lot of money. Daddy told us not to use this money like this. Like they actually listen, and I like that they're paying attention. But on Saturday he went with them for a talk in Katusi, and they come back when they are not in. They say, save, earn, eat, but then they emphasize, when do we reach the eating the money? Because
there's a lot of saving and investing.
So saving and investment, and we've also been practical. They actually save the money. They save their money, put it together, and know. Of course, right now they're saving for Christmas, and they know we have to put our money. Whatever I do, whatever chore I do, I need to get money and put it together.
Just a second, I'm having a hard time taking us away from financial literacy.
Yes,
For some reason, I think Apollo has rubbed off on you. Every conversation, I would like to speak to families that don't.
Let me save you.
Yes.
Let me save you.
Yes, maybe to another profession.
And this, for the children, for me, I believe in preparing your children, not preparing for them.
Okay.
And I'm actually very intentional, reminding them what things are theirs and what things are mine. I will tell them off, and sometimes their mother thought it was being rude, but I'm getting them to a point to want to earn something. So, do we want them to take over us? I would want them to take over themselves, not us, because they are going to be more times better than us. As a parent, I don't wish them. I haven't earned it all. I just wish them to earn much bigger, do greater things. The school may be a beginning. Maybe they need to have universities. Why are we putting them into the school?
Now, what if it turned out that your child is talented and is going to be a Messi, but all you have
Let them go. Let them go.
The peace of mind to allow them be whatever God has.
Yeah, because what we are doing is for ourselves. Like it's for ourselves.
It's very clear that
these children are our relatives.
But you keep saying they're relatives.
Like the children are relatives. It's for ourselves. So if they have done something for themselves, I'm very sure what we have done for ourselves, we shall not will outlive it. No, we shall not outlive it. We'll leave it for them. So if they have done something for themselves and they are prepared, they will definitely take on, or they will sell it, whatever they decide to do, as long as they are doing something for themselves. Okay. So for us, we believe, let's prepare them. Let's not prepare for them. I won't feel guilty if I leave nothing, but I have left them with a wealth of information and education that can get them 10 times.
That
yes.
Can propel them to much greater heights than you did.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Apollo.
So they have a school, which, we began in a school where we are providing all the basic needs. So that child is empowered enough to
be whatever
they want. Pick whatever they want. Like King is a champion. Gold is quiet. Crown is a singer.
So,
and
Phiona,
they're still evolving.
Please speak to a parent or an aspiring parent who has this dream life already built up for their child, and they are beginning to say, especially mothers, there is that feeling when you didn't do something, especially those who conceived early or got married early and gave up. I'm speaking from a lady's perspective now. And they say, I was in med school, then I got pregnant, I was in law school, and I know my child can be a lawyer, and then even medically, they say, we give them the genes. So if they have a proclivity, or sometimes that's what you're modeling, speak to a parent out there who has a child, and their interests are completely different. What would you say to them?
I think we need to let the children shine in the areas that they are good at. Of course, it's good to see a child take over from you, but if we force the children to do things because we want them to, they may do them, but they will not shine. Everyone is different. Everyone has a special talent. I think growing up, my father kept saying, wanting me to be a lawyer, and I really, I like literature, but I hated everything to do with reading. Until I reached a point, I'm like, you know what, math comes easy. Why don't you let me do math and leave me alone? You can do lawyer. You can be a lawyer yourself. So we need to realize that, one, we are individuals. These children are different. Even when they are the same blood, those children, the way they say, king is different, gold is different, crown is different. So we need to be able to look at the unique things they have. And for me now, I'm even going away from the classroom. We need to know what is the child good at and grow that thing, because that is what makes them different.
Unique.
Everyone can get a 4, but what makes you stand out is that extra thing that you have, and those are inborn.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Phiona. If we have a minute before the next segment, I just want to touch on something we talked about jokingly in the first segment, but now that we get to understand the Mbowas, we have to understand the family dynamic better. Apollo, Phiona was open enough to tell us that even at dating time, you trusted her with your finances and your parents' finances. A listener out there is wondering, in this day and age of my money is my money and her money is her money and his money is our money, where people are even asking for transport money. These are realities of young people, especially considering marriage or refusing to get married because of fear of those responsibilities. What was the informative values that you saw in Phiona that made you trust her with your finances? Your dad's ATM card, your mom's ATM card, before she even became your wife?
I think before he answers, but I find that very ridiculous. Ladies wanting to
ask for transport money.
I don't know.
And Kameza.
What are you working for? I think if you want to be taken care of, stay home and be taken care of. But it doesn't make sense for someone.
At your parents.
Yes, it doesn't make sense for me to be working and my money is mine. So why am I working? Yes.
Okay, but tell us about that, the value system that you saw or that people should ask, because somebody out there is like, Apollo is a lover boy, Bamteka mchupa, hey, Phiona msawoya, and something like that. But let's demystify these things.
No. For me, maybe I am a lazy person, but when my eyes set on her, I told her, I see a wife, not a girlfriend. So at that point, my orientation was clear where we are going.
And your actions aligned.
We are not going to be, I don't have that much time in life.
But you didn't speak to the values. What did you see that a young 29, 30-year-old man should see?
23.
Imagine. So exactly, what should they be looking out? Okay, give us the green flags. The green flags. We won't talk about red flags on this show because we are promoting ethical leadership. The green flags.
You see, who you give your money and how they treat that money. Will they multiply it? If they multiply it, that's a goal.
Phiona, you are multiplying money at 23 as a girlfriend for your boyfriend?
Like, if you are in need of money, if you're in need of money and they can step in, better. She was an agent at a call center in our last year of dating. I was a sales agent at an insurance company, earning 150 and 600. But if she has not become pompous because she's earning more.
Oh, there's even that discrepancy.
Yeah, and she's able to come through. I had a motorcycle then and fuel that motorcycle. That's as in, why not?
Why not?
Like,
give her the ATM. But also the dynamic of why did you have your parents' ATMs? Or did you have a fund set aside for them? Again, we are talking finances.
Yes, again, I'm trying to run it from it.
Yeah.
But one of the brilliant things my father did, I think, was to prepare me, was him to show me his money.
Oh, are you an only son or an only child?
I'm the last one. So he said, you are the last one, everyone says, change. But you know what I earn. And how he said to you, I was going to campus. He even handed me a car, which I later realized it was safer staying at home because I could see what he earns.
And the cost of running the car.
So that just
woke you up.
Woke me up. It made me grow up faster. Up to now, I had to sneak it back to him around last year.
Thank you very much, Mbowas. Right there is where we're going to take a break. Ladies and gentlemen, viewers, is where we are going to discuss in the next segment as we wind up, because we brought in the family dynamic. This is the Fidelis Leadership Institute, F.A.T Talks, where we have conversations that matter. Welcome back, listeners and viewers. This is the Fidelis Leadership Institute, F.A.T Talks, live on Smart 24 and our X Spaces. This is the family edition, and I dare say the family fun family edition because we have none other than the Mbowas in the house. And they brought their Vava room to this show. We had a first segment and a second segment, and this is a third segment where we are going to ice this beautiful cake of leadership in families. And those who are just catching the show now, please go back and listen from the start. There's been lots of insights and interesting paradigm shifts happening while we were discussing with the Mbowas. We have Apollo and Phiona. And for this segment, we take back us a little. We talked about family finances again with Apollo and Phiona telling us how, while Phiona was still a girlfriend, Apollo trusted her so much that he gave her his own finances to manage, Apollo's father's finances and mother's. Basically, she was managing in-laws' ATM cards while she's a girlfriend at 23 years. And that is where I want us to pick up this last segment from. In an African context, which Apollo and Phiona have confirmed because they are Bulenga Wakiso people, they know, and we do believe even in Art Fidelis, that it takes a village. Apollo and Phiona have told us the things they have done intentionally to make sure that their children are fed and informed and raised in a way that will make them sustainable, responsible individuals that will outlive Apollo's legacy. They have talked about independence, in dreams, in persona, and we've dissected all these issues. And now to bring it home, because we don't live in a cage, king, crown, and gold are going to live in the real world. In this last segment of the family edition of F.A.T Talks, we would like Apollo and Phiona to give us insights. How they are preparing. They are well-prepared children for the real world that may not have had the same values that they're instilling in their children. I think we'll start with Phiona because she says she's the one who's the passionate mother and enthusiast. Take it away.
And I think that is one of my biggest fears.
As a mother.
As a mother, you prepared your children. Of course, right now you make sure that they can interact with people who like you share values with. For example, I am really, really not comfortable with sleepovers unless I know the family. I think they're comfortable sleep like at my twins' place, or when they go to their grandparents' place, like a place you know, you share the same values. But of course, the fear is that can only last so long. You have to send them out into the world. So the preparing we're giving our children is they need to be able to tell right from wrong. I keep telling them, wherever you are, for you this is what, it doesn't matter what everyone else is saying. For you, what do you know as truth? And I keep praying that every time they are faced with such a challenge, that somehow our voices come through and they're able to.
So you're rewiring, reprogramming. She said he's the software and you're the hardware. Actually, now that you're the hardware, can we hear how many software updates do you need to make in light of the changing society? This is a very serious question. Apollo, as the software leader of the home.
One of the things, and one of the things that keeps her really up is where will my children be? And being who we are, the world is also watching and waiting. I can tell you just by giving birth to the firstborn, there are people who are already waiting for that firstborn to fail. And one of the things that wakes me up every day in the morning is to see that I actually succeed and laugh at them. Because they are waiting for these children to fail. So she's very intentional about praying for these children.
So prayer, there's a place for faith and prayer.
For our newborn girl, for the man she's going to marry.
That's who you marry.
When
the scan showed.
I started praying for that future husband.
So
So she's praying
that's queen.
For
Crown, sorry.
He's praying for the future,
crown's husband.
For the wives that are going to come for our children. But one of the things I've also realized, we have grown up ourselves. We've grown up when we don't have discussions with our parents.
Okay.
So for me, I have opened it up. I let them challenge me. But I've also given them standards. When you want to challenge me, bring evidence. And they understand the concept of evidence, not just
hearsay. So,
we have an ongoing debate right now, which I am clearly winning, but I'm being told that they are now waiting for me about Santa.
Santa Claus,
And
yes.
I've told them Santa is not real. They have said Santa is real. I have bring the evidence. They have brought their YouTube videos. I brought mine. Now today I don't know what they are bringing.
You don't know the outcome.
But by yesterday I had one of them who I've been told has been flipped. But much as we both know what the actual thing is, I'm not just going to enforce it on them.
That Santa doesn't exist.
I've given them a chance, but we will definitely get to that place. So I have given them that.
You're empowering the children to think for themselves and giving them training ground at home right now, so that when they get to the world out there, decision making is not a new phenomenon to them. And confidence.
Who has seen people hired or worked in a corporate world, what the children lack is not the academic knowledge. It's the confidence, it's the soft skills, it's the things they should have learned from home that no one ever got to teach them. And then they are handed to you, you are supervising them, the person you
entrust.
You tell them something in a different tone, and they go crying, and then they pick up something, and maybe you're harassing me, because they have not gotten that bit of.
So you're giving them the best you can at home, while giving them opportunities to be exposed to what the real world will be that is probably different from the environment at home. That's why
the environment at home, we are creating it to push them in the environment.
To the out.
I am very, very sure they are not going to work for me. They are going to be out there in the world. Even when they're given a choice, work for me or they may choose to work for someone else. So I need to give them those skills. And I have seen, when I'm hiring, what skills do I want? Let me share. Because when you have those skills, when we came to this, you never asked me for my qualifications.
No, I didn't.
But one of the things you're confident when you're making the phone call
that
is I have a skill, I will talk.
You're a fat family.
Exactly.
Yes.
So if anyone can see my children and say this, they have that skill, like they will go places without. I don't have to take them to Harvard. I've already told them I'm not taking them to Oxford. Or if they want to go, they will go by on their own money. But I am giving them the basic skills that if they want to go to Oxford,
they can fit in Oxford.
So mine is more, let's prepare them. I'm also preparing myself, and I keep telling myself they are relatives, because these guys are going to be so exceptional in life that they will need to leave my jurisdiction.
Yeah, they become too big for your pond.
So I am preparing myself, and I keep telling her they are relatives. So when they go, and I'm seeing them on TV, elsewhere, I am not saying when are they coming back. I am preparing them for the world. They are going to be kings in their own right, and home is a small kingdom. They have to go and rule in another kingdom. So it could be in Britain, it could be in Hungary, it could be in
Ukraine.
USA, it could be in Ukraine. I am getting
Apollo, right there is where I want us to put a small pin, because I'm coming to the topic of empty nesters, and you kind of preempted. But before we go there, I would like to ask Phiona. We've talked about crown, gold, and king very well. But again, to the concept of it takes a village. How are you influencing and leading the village in other children that are not in the Mbowa household? Okay, you have a school, but to the family dynamic of extended family. Because in Fidelis, we believe in mentorship. What you learn, you give. And if your model is so unique that it can't fit with the cousins, and these are the same people they're going to grow up as peers, I don't know. In Africa, it's a catch-22. To live in your small world, and it's like, my son doesn't speak Luganda, and I'm struggling. I know it is going to be a handicap if he gets out of my household and doesn't have a mother tongue fluency. So what are we doing to create that balance outside our home? You are already leading in the community, but now to the family context, extended family, which is our reality, most of us as African people. Those who can't afford kings but are connected to you, your other relatives outside the three, how are you impacting them?
I think one, we've made it, I think he's saying something that we're not breaking even, because we're trying to make Little Kings as affordable as possible. Like I want even that child in Nangwade who is around me to be able to afford an education that a minister's child can afford. But what we are doing is making sure we lower the rates. Our school fees is ridiculous by them. given the things that we offer. But also one thing that that for me stands out for me is self-esteem in children. And that's one thing we emphasize. So you find that at school we have one fee. My teachers never know who has defaulted, who has not defaulted. We are all the same. We don't pack anything. We don't even bring a pencil just in case you bring a big and I bring
another brand.
At school, the ground is leveled. I don't care if it's skin, I don't care if it's anyone. We are all the same. If we are eating cassava, we're all going to eat cassava. If the next day we're eating sausages, let us all. So what I'm trying to do is, this is a community that my children are in. I cannot run away from it. So what I'm trying to do is, let me be able to enable as many children in the community as I can. For example, King, it started out by chess, we had a trainer for King. When I saw him being excellent, I was like, there must be children in the school
who have the potential.
but the parents cannot afford private trainers that I can. So I got the trainer to actually go to school, and we were amazed. Actually, I think two people when we beat King, they were better than him, but the parents couldn't afford. So we availed that skill in the school at no cost.
Thank you. I'm sorry our time is quickly running short, but I hear you saying that what you want for your child, for the next circle of influence around him, be they neighborhood children or those in the same school, you try to avail the same opportunities. That is what we call faithful, available, and teachable in this leadership institute of ours. To crown this now, keeps talking about relatives, and it just feeds into the narrative of empty nesters. When we invest so much in our children, there's like a degree of entitlement. To the empty nesters out there who are wondering, I spent 50, 40 years, 30 years of my life, especially single moms or single parent households. And then the children go and start to fly and live on their own. What can we do the way Apollo teaches about retirement? How can we prepare for the empty nest, which is sure to come? King will be 20 one day and he will go. Crown will be 25 and fall in love and go. What is the message to the empty nesters? Those who are in the season or who are preparing for the season.
Build this. And that is something we neglect, especially as mothers. We focus on the children and forget the spouse. Now for me, of course we have our struggles, but this is the most important.
It's there before,
it's there before,
now, and then after the children have gone.
So if you concentrate on the children, when they leave, that's why you find us following our children. Trying to
against the ability to look after grandchildren.
Let me go and take care of the children, because this is missing. So we need to work on, now this is a married person, but we need to work on the two of us. So that whether the children are born, or even if they are not children, this can stand the test of time.
Thank you. Yes, I talk about single parent household where there is no other party, but also let's hear from Apollo on empty nesters.
No. You are doing so much. You are working 6 days a week to afford your children a good education, good life. What does that good life mean? That good life is not in your home. That good life is out there. You're taking them to an international school, meaning you're exposing them to the globe. So while you are doing that, be cautious that you are actually enabling them. And the outcome of enabling them is them leaving.
Oh,
So
the definite outcome of your empowerment to stay. Oh.
So when they leave, you have actually
done your part. Thank you so much, Mbowas. This has been a fun edition of the F.A.T Talks, the family edition that is bringing the year to a beautiful close. And thank you, listeners and viewers. We have really had a great time with Mbowas. We've talked all things family, leadership, entrepreneurship, lovepreneurship. We've overturned paradigms. We've known role distribution and role reversal. We've done so much. So please check out this episode on Smart 24, the repeat. Look at our socials to get the replays on YouTube. A link will be put up. And I just want to thank you yet again for joining us on the Fidelis Leadership F.A.T Talks that happen every Thursday. We do have a cohort for the fellowship starting in February. Look for us, check on us, call us to make bespoke trainings for your organization, for your team. And let's keep the conversation going, the conversations that matter. Thank you so much, the Mbowas, yet again, and we look forward to having you again when Gold, Crown, and King are able to testify if this journey you put them on is worth it, if they are they're doing according to how you prepared for them and what their experience is. We really look forward. Fidelis is here. We hope that one day we can have a full circle moment when the children testify to our efforts in creating faithful, available, and a teachable critical mass of ethical leaders. From me and the team at Fidelis, we wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a nice conclusion of the end of the year festivities. Stay faithful, stay available, stay teachable, wherever you have to be in this season. Have a nice week, and bye-bye.